So awesome, man. I mean, just hot, skillet, everything. Oh yeah, we're live. Okay, so welcome to the show, y'all. It is time to breathe again.
And we got see that's what happens. You get lost in food.
Yes, it is time to breathe again on the latest breath of fresh air webcast streaming live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. So you see Patrick along with me, Charles, back from the 4th of July week vacation, whatever you want to call it. I mean, it was a little bit of both for both of us, and we were over here. Y'all caught the end of the conversation where we were talking about all the food that we had down here in the South. So, so good. So here we are, Patrick. Kind of in a period of the sports season where not too much is going on. Baseball is in full swing. We're at the halfway point of baseball. The All-Star break, I think, is next week. So at this time next week, the All-Star game will be playing actually in Texas over at Globe Life Field in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex, Arlington to be specific. And then you have some soccer events that are going on, Euro Cup, Copa America, and you also have the Olympics that will be coming up here in a couple of weeks. Yeah, about 2.5 weeks. That will get started over in Paris. We will start, though, with some of the moves and transactions that have happened in NBA free agency. So, Patrick, I guess if we're looking at this, we are big on moves that move the needle, moves that can make a huge difference in a team's fortunes. Maybe they were close to winning a championship. Maybe they're kind of knocking on the door of seriously contending for a championship. But if I really had to say one move moves the needle for me, I'll give you a clue. It's definitely not Paul George going to the Philly 76ers. It's definitely not that. I don't think Paul George is that great. I think he's good, but he's an overrated player to me. The move that moves the needle or has the potential to move the needle is Klay Thompson going to the Mavericks. 3 years, $50 million. And if Dallas was missing anything from the team that, of course, made it to the NBA Finals before going out to the Boston Celtics, it's the consistent three-point shooting. Klay Thompson definitely brings that to them. And with his game, like we talked about before, he can fit into any system because his game, it travels. He doesn't need the ball in his hands. He can move around with screens, and he can easily play off of Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving, just getting hit anywhere around the three-point line, cutting to the basket. We all know the game where he scored, 60 points on 4 dribbles or whatever it was. Yep. And so
points on 4 dribbles.
Yeah. And
3 walks. He walked like 3 times too. So.
Yeah.
we got to count those too. He may only dribble 4 times, but he packed his bags and traveled a couple of times too.
How do you make more 3-pointers than times you dribble? Someone tell me that. Explain that to me.
And here's the thing: is like 100 times more than you dribble.
Yeah. So yeah. Catch and shoot.
That's all he did.
So to me, Patrick, that's the move. We're looking at some of these other moves. Another move that I actually like is Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. Now, so he's one of those guys that's been like a glue guy, not a star player by any means, but he is a guy who has been very, very crucial to a couple of championship winning teams. He was with the Los Angeles Lakers when they won the championship in the bubble, and he was with the Denver Nuggets last year when they won their championship. He goes to the Orlando Magic, and I like that move for a team that is made the playoffs last year, took the Cleveland Cavaliers to 7 games, and they have most of their team coming back along with KCP. Again, like a consistent 3-point shooter who can provide some defense. Those are the moves I like. Like, give me those dudes that I know is about the substance. I look at a move like Paul George going to Philly, and number one, it's a ridiculous amount of money. He got signed for 4 years, $212 million or something like that, and
he ain't worth that.
Ain't worth that. And Philly isn't. There's so many question marks with Philly. It centers around Joel Embiid. If he can stay healthy, then yes, I think this is a team that could compete. I still wouldn't pick them to beat Boston in a series right now, but I think I could put them up there if everything goes right. I like they brought back Tyrese Maxey, for a max contract. I could put them there with the Pacers, potentially. We'll see what the Knicks do. The Knicks are able to get Mikal Bridges. So the Knicks are basically Villanova in the pro level now. All those players went to Villanova. Jalen Brunson, Villanova. Dante DiVincenzo, Villanova. Josh Hart, Villanova. And now Mikal Bridges, Villanova. So they basically...
Eagles in Georgia.
Yeah. So...
Eagles have... what, 8 players on defense?
Yeah. and that's the thing. That's the thing with the Knicks. Is Tom Thibodeau going to play is he going to play the players? If he does, then the Knicks are a threat. If this run told Tom Thibodeau anything, it's like those people are sitting on the bench. They make money too. Why are they over there if you're not going to play them? So you can't run up against a team like Indiana and deal with the injuries they had and not play players. I mean, as it was, he was playing a 6-7 man rotation anyway. But now, when all those players get hurt or injured, now you're forced to play them. And you could have seen what they were doing during the regular season. This is why the regular season still has merit. I know the NBA and the teams don't treat the regular season with any type of importance. It is all about trying to get ready for the playoffs. So you have a lot of load management. You have a lot of let's just rest players on back-to-back days or whatever it is to make sure you can get them in there for 60 games. But at the same time, you have these younger players that could easily be getting that playing time, and you're sitting them. And then when it comes to the playoffs, now you're like, oh my God, I got to play this guy. I don't know what he can do. You could have known that easily if you played him. So lots of transitions there. But yeah, I mean, I guess, how do you feel about the moves? Do you agree with me that the Klay Thompson move to me is the one that stands out the most in terms of importance?
The Klay Thompson is one that stands out. And who's the other one you said?
KCP, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope.
Oh yeah, those two are probably the biggest ones that stand out to me. There's a couple of them that I'm just like, I'd like to see how that goes. Like the Pistons getting Cunningham. I want to see how that goes because Pistons they need a lot of help, and I think this is a good pickup for them. But I don't know how good yet. That's what I mean. Like, I want to say this is a good pickup, and I'm like, yeah, I can see this one. He's gonna move the needle. We just don't know how much yet. You know what I mean? It's just like, I like it. I don't know how much I like it yet. You know what I mean? That one's a tough one. I mean, like Paul George. Who cares? I mean, he hasn't done anything since he stepped into the league. So. Who gives a crap? I mean, really, who gives a crap?
Patrick, he came close. So I'll say this, but this was 10 years ago. That's the thing. You remember he was on those? Yeah, so it doesn't. That's outside of the. That's outside of the.
5 more years, and he is outside of whatever he wants to do.
With the Eastern Conference Finals teams with the Indiana Pacers, but ever since then, no.
He hasn't done anything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, I mean, honestly, that one, I don't even know how that even holds merit to even be in any kind of conversation. I haven't seen it. You know what I mean? And DeRozan, that deal that DeRozan got. We'll see.
He's a weird player, and so DeMar DeRozan has one of the best mid-range games there is in the league.
Sometimes, not all the time. I mean, most of the time. I'll say most of the time he does. I mean, like phenomenal, but
it's just a weird fit for him. Like he's not making any differences these days.
I mean, I will say this: he does move the needle. But with him going to the Kings, I think he moves the needle in the wrong direction. Like, remember who were we talking about that we said that it was like he'll move the needle. Just thinks he moved the needle in the wrong direction. Who was it? We talking about him going to Miami, I think. Damian Lillard.
Oh, Damian Lillard. Oh, okay, yeah, he went to Milwaukee.
Yeah, he ended up going to Milwaukee, and I think he moved the needle in the wrong direction.
Yeah, I agree.
You know what I'm saying? So like, I mean, like, just because you get a big name star doesn't necessarily we're gonna move in the right direction. And I think that DeRozan is that person that's going to be for the. He's gonna degress them. And the Kings did really well 2 years ago. They did okay this last year. They need to find somebody. But I don't know if DeRozan is that person that they need to find. I think they need more size, personal opinion. And I don't think DeRozan brings that to I don't think DeRozan brings that to the Kings. But other than that, that's really the only ones that I really was like, wow, okay. They did make some moves, but the only two that I really think makes the needle move is Pope and
Thompson.
Yeah, that's it. And that's going to be a hell of a trio. In Dallas. So, I mean, my personal opinion, I think that fills the void that they were looking for, even when they played Boston, because Boston, like we talked about it, they pack the paint, and it forces Kyrie and Luka to shoot outside, and they're just not outside shooters. I mean, they can be, but they really rest their game on the drive to the bucket. And now they got a 3-point shooter. So that, to me, I think is the best move Dallas could do. And, I think there's going to be some noise made from them this coming year.
What about OKC's move? So OKC, they traded to get Alex Caruso from the Bulls, and they also got the guy Hartenstein from the Knicks, some size to help Chet Holmgren. I like those moves for OKC because they need size.
Yeah, they do need size. I don't know. I mean, is Caruso really that big?
No,
Caruso's not right?
Big. Yeah, so he's a guard / shooting guard, but what it gives them is
he's that small white dude, isn't he?
Yeah, but he can leap.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen him dunk.
Yeah,
I've seen him dunk. I was like, okay, well, boy can jump.
Yeah. It gives him a guy that can defend, and also it could take the ball out of SGA's hands a little bit to where he can play off the ball. I think what happened to SGA a little bit against Dallas in that series was there was a lot that did fall into his hands with the playmaking and having to score. And part of that was because the other guys like Dort and Jalen Williams, they were struggling a little bit. With Caruso there, you have a guy who can hit the three, can handle the ball as well, take a little bit more of that pressure from SGA and give them another scorer, like another guy that is a little bit consistent. He can give you a consistent, like 15, like a consistent 10, 15 points. And that could be the difference between them as they are ascending, I mean, I think we all agree OKC they're coming. I mean, they're
Yeah.
they're going to be around for a while.
Did they
And
return Wiggins?
yes,
Yeah.
yes, and that's another thing. They kept a lot of the guys that were coming due for contracts as well. So I mean, OKC is
They're
there's
stacked, man.
yeah.
Stacked, man. And then you also, and Caruso will also give you that facilitator, because I do see him probably running the point a little more than shooting like that. You know what I mean? I mean, I can see him running the two, but that one is probably where he's going to be, and which makes a lot of sense, because if you got all those shooters, well, you needed somebody to pass it to.
Yeah, this is
And Caruso can pass, dude. He can facilitate a game very well. So yeah, I mean, I can see that. I can see that being a good pickup for them, and they signed some good players. I mean, they re-signed the players that they needed, and they had last year on the big run, and then these two that they're bringing in. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I didn't even know that they even picked them up. But yeah, that could potentially be a hell of a pickup for them. And it also solidifies the bench at that point.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. And I mean, just those two moves, substance moves, like we talk about. Yeah, you get guys that you need. Like with Hartenstein, you get a guy who can score, rebounds the ball, and it's size to help Chet Holmgren out in the middle. Because I mean, Holmgren got worn down with what Dallas was bringing, but with Gafford and Lively, it was just it ended up being too much for Holmgren. And of course, he can put on about 10, 15 pounds. Maybe we need to bring him down to the south and get some more soul food meals.
Hey, how about Atlanta picking up who they picked up in the first round?
I seen that, the French dude. Yes,
he's 30 pounds and he is just right. And we're up. Come on. He's gonna get soul food in Atlanta. He's gonna bulk up. He's gonna be big, but not this year. Not this coming year. He's got to gain 30 pounds, 30 to 40 pounds. I mean, what is he? 7'1", 120 pounds.
Yeah,
I mean, yes. Jesus, he needs to gain like 100 pounds, dude. Like, seriously.
We need double his weight.
And let me point this out. I was actually going to make this a shorty this week, because I am bringing shorties back, by the way. I was going to make this a shorty, but I'm not going to make it a shorty now. I'll find something else. There's plenty in sports this week. Holy cow, because I might talk tennis. That's what I'll probably do. But how about the Lakers picking up Bronny? Right? So look, and how about he sucks and still got all the spotlight?
Look, so this is what I was going to do. You just beat me to it, but this is what I was going to do. I was like, so Patrick, do you want to talk about Bronny James? How about no? Because we don't want no rants. So
dude, he sucks. He got a $9 million deal and comes out, and I was looking at his stats, and I was like, hell, my wife even said, she goes, 20 minutes, 4, 4, and 2. She's like, did LeBron give up half of his salary just to convince the Lakers to take him? I was like, probably, because that dude sucks. 20 minutes, 4, 4, and 2. 4 points, 4 rebounds, and 2 assists. I was like, dude, I could shit better basketball than, excuse my language, sorry. I could do better basketball than that. I was like, what?
He got drafted where
unfortunately
he got drafted where people were forecasting him to get drafted. He's a second round pick. He was never a guy that was going to be a first rounder. If it was strictly going to be on the name. But realistically, this was a guy who was going to get picked in the second round. With him going to USC, I would have liked to see what he could have done there. Of course, he was coming off the cardiac arrest episode he had, so that, he had to recover from that, and props to him to recover from that. It took away from the 1 year in college, but it was going to be one of those situations where he was going to go to college. He was going to come out. He knew he could come out because of his father, LeBron, and he was going to get drafted by somebody. The Lakers were most likely going to be the team to pick him up with the 55th pick. And here's the big picture, Patrick. What you cannot do if you were the Lakers coach, if you were JJ Redick or any of the Lakers brass, what you cannot do is try to get Bronny out there just to get him some minutes to play with his dad. If you do that, you are sabotaging the team, and you are no different from Cleveland or any of the other teams that LeBron was on. Now, there's talent there. Bronny needs to go to the developmental league. He needs to go to the G League and play there and get some minutes. You shouldn't be on the pro roster, at least not initially. So yes, you're going to see a lot of 4 points, 2 rebounds performances in the summer league. And you're probably going to see a lot of those performances in the G League as well.
Yeah.
The Lakers roster, if they played them, that's another thing. Darvin Ham didn't play the players. So if they play the guys, they do have a team who could potentially make a run. I'm not going to put them there right now with Dallas. Not right now. Could they get there? Maybe. But I'm not going to put them there with Dallas. I'm not going to put them there with Minnesota, although they've held their own against teams like Denver as well. So the talent is there, but you can't let them sabotage. There's a lot that's going to have to happen, and a lot of it falls on LeBron to be able to play off the ball. He doesn't need the ball in his hands all the time because he's old. He's getting old.
Yeah.
So he should be able to play off the ball a little bit more. We'll see what JJ Redick brings in terms of a fresh look, fresh eyes. I know there's a lot of people who are upset that he got the head coaching position, but personally, Patrick, I like that over any type of retread. You're going to get Monty Williams? No. You're going to call Mark Jackson off the street? No. You don't want to do that. You don't need this old stuff. You don't need that. You already know where you're getting there. So you might as well give that job to somebody who is a fresh set of eyes. But yeah, Bronny doesn't need to be on any protein right now.
No. Hey, I mean, dude, how do you score 4 points and have 2 rebounds in your debut against whoever it was that they were playing?
And they played in the summer league, your California Classic.
and who was it? Who's on his team? Is it Dalton Connect?
Yeah, Connect. Now that's the pick.
He has 14. And Bronny gets Bronny scored 4 points. Dalton had 14 and 10 more minutes. I'm like, what?
Patrick, you know what that is.
Daddy's like, I'll give you an extra $10 million to put him on the front. Okay. Don't get me wrong. Okay. I'll put Bronny out there with his 4 points.
Well, Patrick, look, because I didn't want you to get on any rants, so we'll move on.
He cannot play, dude. Like seriously, like 4 points. 4 points. That's what he had. 4 points.
We'll move on.
In a loss, by the way. In a loss by 10. Hey, Terry Bronny, you sorry piece of crap.
We'll move on.
All right, please move on because I cannot.
That's why I really didn't want to bring it up. I was going to make a teaser about it, but you just beat me to it. So I knew there was going to be 5 or 6 minutes on it because you was going to rant. So
he's garbage, man. Like, he's more, dude, garbage.
So, Patrick, let's get to a topic that I know you will like.
Okay,
and remember, I had teased a revisit of something we had talked about a few years ago. So the topic is a college football one, and with Texas and Oklahoma going to the SEC, the topic we are revisiting is how do these teams look going into SEC play? And I must say, you are looking very, very correct on what you had said. Yeah.
You need to go right there now. You need to go.
Yeah, so
that's what we're breathing on.
Yeah.
That's what we're breathing on.
We're done. We're wrapping up.
Press the subscribe button.
But no.
Hey, hashtag Patrick's right.
So yes, Texas looks ready, and I'm very happy to acknowledge that.
Very happy to be wrong on that.
Yes, very much so. Very happy to be wrong on that. And Oklahoma, to their credit, Texas North, the defense might be ready to compete, and we'll see what they bring offensively. But definitely, Texas looks more well-rounded to me than Oklahoma does to go into SEC play. I think we have a real shot to win the SEC. I'm not going to go that far, but I do think we have a real shot to win the SEC, go to the SEC championship game, and win this bad boy in the first year. Because I'm looking at the competition, gonna be tough, of course. Last time I checked, Georgia's still strong. Last time I checked, Alabama's still strong. Of course, there will be some question marks with Nick Saban gone. We'll see what Caleb DeBoer can do in his first year coaching there. And then we'll see what Tennessee comes with. Of course, we'll have some games where we're going to have some rivalries rekindled, and those are going to be difficult. We have to go to Fayetteville and College Station this year. Arkansas and A&M will be ready for us. And shoot, hey, y'all come to us this year too.
Yep.
So looking forward to that.
And don't y'all go to Tuscaloosa?
No, who do we go to this year? So we go to Arkansas, we go to A&M, I think we go to Vanderbilt. Oh, we go to Michigan. We go to Michigan the second week of the year. Of course, that's not an SEC game, but we do go up to Ann Arbor this year.
Yeah. Y'all should handle business up there.
I feel confident about beating Michigan up there. So yeah, I mean, but on that topic of the teams looking ready by the time it's by the time the SEC action is coming for us in OU, I'm really, really impressed with how we look. Like I feel really good about coming over to the SEC, and you know me, Patrick, I did not feel good about that when that announcement came. I said, man, we need to step it up, or it's going to be rough. Rough.
And it would have been, but like I said, man, like the coach y'all have, you know, and I got told this a lot. You think Stark's got what it takes? Yeah, I do. Absolutely, 100% I do. But
it was the right hire. That's the thing that a lot of people, because like you said before, not the splash, not the flashiness, but it's a substance hire. Look, substance over style, that's another hashtag too. So yeah, I'll put that in the post. Yes, Patrick, hashtag Patrick's right. Okay, I got you.
Okay, put that in there. And then hashtag substance over splash.
Substance over style. There we go.
Okay, yeah, we'll go with that. And then also on top of that, Texas has still got Manning, that's like right there. He's ready, and honestly, he's going to get his chance this year. I really do feel that. It probably would not surprise me one. I'm going to say it wouldn't surprise me one bit. This man's starting sometime in this season, without a doubt. But that was the thing that I kept telling people. I was like, look, you know, who's the Oklahoma coach?
Brent Venables.
Venables. All right, good hire for them. But here's the thing: he keeps getting beat by SEC. So that's the reason why I was like, I don't know. I mean, like, it's a good hire for them. I will say this about Oklahoma: he is that person that will get them to the next step, but he is not the person that's going to win a championship. Not at Oklahoma. Stark is the person. They're Texas. They're already past that person that got them to the next step. That was the. I still feel he was. Is that guy from Houston that came in?
Tom Herman.
Tom Herman. He put a lot of right things in place. Now he didn't do very well, but he put a lot of right things in place that allowed the next person to come in and then start come in, and they were able to solidify what they needed to do. Right.
He set a foundation. I'll give you that.
Yeah. And but I told you, even when you were like, I was like, look, man, he's just the next step guy. He's just the next step guy. And that's all he did. He put in a lot of things in place that allowed Stark to do what he's fixing to do. And Stark is your coach. That should get you a championship. Should get you a championship. Now, I know there's a lot of people out there that's like, LSU's looking good, and Georgia's still strong, and that's my team. I love my Georgia Bulldogs. And I'm not gonna disagree with you. I do think that they have the team to go to an SEC championship. But I'm not. It's hard to count out Alabama. You know what I mean? And it's hard to count out Ole Miss. Ole Miss is gonna look good. You still got LSU. As much as we don't like Brian Kelly.
Well, he'll bring it.
He's doing something right. I haven't figured it out yet, but he's doing something right. I mean, I don't know how many games they're going to lose, but LSU is looking good. I mean, you still got Tennessee. Tennessee's going to be up there. Who else you got? I don't see really too much after that. Yeah, there's a lot of tough teams in there, and I will say this is the first time that I will say I don't really know how deep the SEC is this year by adding those two teams, because there's been just so much movement amongst all the conferences. So it's really hard to say that, I still think SEC is the dominant, with that huge gap. I still think they're going to be the most dominant conference, but I don't know what the gap's going to look like. You know what I mean? So it's going to be interesting, but I do agree with you. If any team I'm going to give a nod to that says they can put, I think Texas could. I don't think they will, but they could. They do have the potential to win. I mean, I could sit and see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9-2.
Losing to who? Oh, okay. Losing to who besides Georgia?
I would say. Wait, did I say 9-2? 10-2.
Yes.
10-2. Yeah. I mean, they possibly could go 11-1. I do have them losing to Georgia, and we'll see what Texas A&M does. You know what I mean? Because that's always tough for y'all. For whatever reason, they were always tough for y'all. So
Patrick, they hate us.
Them and Arkansas both.
Yeah, A&M and Arkansas hates us. So you know me. Yeah, we do. We have Arkansas.
You have Arkansas. You don't have Alabama. That's what
I said. We got Arkansas.
No, I was saying that for me.
Oh, my bad. Okay.
I thought y'all had Alabama, but y'all must have them next year.
Yeah, probably next year. I know we did, because we did the home and home with them the year before and last year. Of course, with both of us winning on the other's home field.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know me, Patrick. The Arkansas and Texas A&M games scare me, and they always will, because of how much they hate us.
And they're played away. That was the key. That's the real key right there, because I'm curious of how that Arkansas team is going to come out. That's what I'd be curious. But I would say if I was a betting man, I would probably say Texas A&M has the better chance of beating y'all, but I don't know if they can. That's the thing. So I mean, possible 11-1, 10-2 season. I mean, for me, that's a great freaking season to start off in the SEC, and that would put y'all right in the hunt, right up there where I feel Alabama, Georgia, Ole Miss. Because I think Ole Miss, I have a feeling Ole Miss is going to go like 11-1, 10-2 as well. And their only loss is going to be Alabama and Georgia.
I agree with you, man, because I do think, because I'm not ready to go there yet, that we're going to win the SEC in our first year. Not ready to go there yet. I do think we have a legit chance to do it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Or better than Oklahoma, which I think is going to be like 7-5. You know, I just don't think that they are. I just don't think they're strong enough to stand up to those defenses because Venables is just not that type of coach. He's very he's very defensive minded. But you know, it's great if you hold the team to 21 points, but if you can only score 7, what's that matter?
And that's the thing, Patrick, because in the SEC, as you very well know, the defense is what's going to put you over the top. Now, I do agree with you. Yes, you do have to be able to score. You have to be well balanced. But if you are going to go into the SEC, the side that needs to be on point is defense. Like that side needs to be ready to go, no questions asked. And when you do have a defensive coordinator or a defensive coordinator by trade, now he's the head coach, you would want to go in with that side of the ball being ready to go, because you can improve on the offense. Like you can go in there and you can get your offensive coordinator and make sure the offense is starting to hit some strides. But if your defense is not ready to go in that conference, it's gonna be a rough go for it, man.
And to be honest with you, they might lose 6 because I'm sitting here looking at their schedule. I mean, they got Tennessee, they got Texas, they got Ole Miss, they got Missouri, Alabama, and LSU. They could lose 6.
That's tough. Yeah,
that's tough. That's going to be hard because you know everybody's talking like, oh, Oklahoma has a better chance, and blah blah blah. I'm sitting here going,
yeah, you see that schedule? Yeah,
you see, yeah. They're going to lose the last 3 games. Run it out.
Yeah,
Oklahoma. And then you got to play in Missouri. You know Missouri's going to be bringing it on that game.
And Missouri is good. And Missouri's a good team too.
So you got Missouri, Alabama, and LSU. Missouri's going to be like, look, bro,
we can't stand y'all either.
We can't stand y'all anyway. Yeah. And now you're going to come into my home thinking that you're going to be a part of our family, thinking you're going to come in here and crash the ball. No, that's a loss. Alabama's like, I'll follow that up with another loss. And LSU's going to go, I'll give you another one. There's 3 of them right there. You might not even be bowl eligible in your first year. I mean, think about that. Because, you know, if South Carolina feels froggy, well, you know, this might be the game we decide to show up to.
Yeah.
We'll have our 2-10 season, but pick out Oklahoma in the midst of it in Vanderbilt. You know what I'm saying? South Carolina will be like, yeah, we won 2. Oklahoma, Vanderbilt. And,
you know,
so, I mean, and then you got to go to Auburn.
Never easy to go to Auburn.
You probably win that one, but hey, Auburn ain't no joke either. I mean, you know, they play the game for a reason. That's all I'm saying.
It's never easy to go to Auburn. I mean, going to Jordan-Hare Stadium that's one of the toughest environments to play in all of sports. And so those fans on the plains are always ready to show up. The team might not be ready to show up, but the fans always bring it.
Fans are always
ready. So
War Eagle all the way, and then Eagle got shot out of the air.
So, Patrick, I gotta tell you this, man. Talking about all this football, it felt so good to be down in the South. So, look, so just so y'all know, Patrick and I, we have vacations around the South, and it felt so good to talk to my uncles and to my even some of my aunts and my cousins to talk about football.
Just to hear that accent.
Yes. Yep. Just for the accent, number one. And number two, to know that Texas is going to be part of the SEC. It felt so good to just talk that mess with them and say, well, we going to see you this year. Oh, really? We gonna watch this game over some Hardee's biscuits? Or so.
Hey, we'll watch it over with some tears of your and blood. We watch it because I'll be sipping all day.
Sweet tea. So this is my boy Tori, man. So hey, I went to school with this dude over at the University of North Texas. Thanks for the shout out, Tori. And he's from Houston too. That's why he's singing those Stros. So yeah, so man, good.
Rangers are gonna win the division. So
don't get Tori started on that. Now you know that's a sore subject. Don't be talking about the Rangers on there. Nah, man, good to see you, Tori. Man. So, I mean, to close it out, Patrick, like I said, man, it's great to be talking that college football with the people down south, seeing the Longhorns and the Sooners coming over there. It's going to be fun in the SEC. The only thing that I am dreading is the CBS is not keeping the coverage. I wish CBS was keeping the coverage, but money talks, and now it's
money talks. And be honest with you, Charles, just to let you know, yeah, CBS is that is detrimental to not only that's just detrimental to college football. And there's one other thing that you forgot about what you're dreading coming into the season. It's also the fact that you got to play Georgia. So.
Well, we will see. Y'all actually make that trip down to Austin. So
hey, you travel well.
Yes, y'all do. The Georgia fans, y'all will have a section, absolutely. So
yep, we will. We travel very well, actually. We load up in buses and cars and planes, and we'll go wherever we need to.
Oh boy. Well, Patrick, hey, so to close out this show, man. So look, we're gonna dive in to soccer. And I'll explain why we're diving into soccer in a minute, because it talks about the mentality of business, of money, of winning, all that. One of those life subjects. So for soccer, the U.S. national team, the men's team, of course, they crashed out in the group stage again. Got knocked out by Uruguay, and they crashed out.
Big surprise.
Big surprise, right? I mean, this is a team that we've been waiting for, or we've been told that this team is supposed to make that step. They're supposed to compete with Argentina, France, Germany, Spain, Uruguay, Brazil, all these teams that are strong in soccer. And it just hasn't happened, probably won't happen. So
we will never come close to France and Spain. I mean, right off the bat, that's two teams that we're just never going to get it to. Come on. Unless we draft from France and Spain.
and look, Patrick, and on that note, so people are mad because a lot of money is going into this team to compete. Somewhere there's a mark that's being missed. Now we know the women's team, they have won World Cups. They're doing their thing over there.
Yep.
But the men's team, they can't seem to get over that hump. So people are upset, and the argument you will hear is, well, look what's happened to basketball. Of course, hey, this is a sport we dominate over here in this country. But if you look at the landscape of the NBA, there are a lot of foreign players who are the biggest stars in the league now. Luka Doncic over from Slovenia, Giannis Antetokounmpo over from Greece, Nikola Jokic from Serbia. And with that, there's been a gap that has been closed. When you go into the Olympics now, these teams, whether they are from France, who can bring a guy like Victor Wembanyama onto the team to represent, they can give the U.S. a little bit of trouble in the Olympics. Spain has been traditionally good. You remember Argentina back in the day when Manu Ginobili and Luis Scola was giving the Americans, our team, the business. Yeah. And so there's a lot of these teams that are coming through. Now, look, don't get me wrong. I think we'll win the gold medal. I mean, we have a pretty stacked squad going over there to Paris for the Olympics, and I think we'll win the gold medal. But the point is, the gap has been closed to where it's not necessarily just a slam dunk guaranteed. This is going to be a gold medal. But like we're going to have to play. If we want that gold medal, we're going to have to play. We're going to have to put in some work to get that gold medal. It's not like how it was when we were getting destroyed, because for the longest time, pro players were not going over there. And then the dream team, the first dream team, of course, with Jordan and Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, Charles Barkley, Karl Malone, you name them, they were on there. And so that gap has been closed in basketball. So that's the argument people will look. Yes, Canada will be tough too. Yo, dude, SGA, Jamal Murray, and Andrew Wiggins on Canada, yeah, they're going to be a beast too. So we're going to have to play if we're going to get this gold medal. This is not going to be easy. But I make the argument comparing basketball and soccer, because the people who want soccer or the men's soccer team to be up there with the elites, they will use basketball as an example for, well, how come these other countries can close the gap with the Americans? You can put money into stuff, but that's not saying just because you're putting a whole bunch of money into it, that doesn't guarantee success. The mentality of the people you are putting money into is the most important thing. Do these people that you are putting money into, do they want to put in the work to be up there with those people? We can't be told this is the golden generation of soccer, because that's what we've been told. That's what everybody is.
For every other country but us.
Yeah, right. Like, exactly. Well, we can't be told this. And then every time we go to a tournament, whether it's Copa America, the World Cup will be here in 2 years. Mm-hmm. And so you're going to have the world's best coming into this country or coming into North America, because Canada and Mexico is going to be hosted or helping to host the World Cup as well. But we're nowhere near ready to compete with these teams. And
in years, we're still not going to be ready.
Yep. Hey, what's going on, 80? Go ahead and say hi to her, Patrick.
Hey, babe. Thanks for the shout out. Hey-o.
And so you can't, the mentality, like I said, when it talks about business and it talks about money in the winning, you have to put in the work. It's not enough. It's not enough.
Well, I'm glad you see me. You know, I'm only just a couple of rooms away.
It is not enough.
It's not, and it's not going to be enough. Here's the thing with soccer. If we're not willing to put the money towards what we have in the other sports traditionally, and I talk about other sports as hockey, basketball, baseball, and football, we're not putting the money into soccer like we would those other four sports. And hell, even at that point, we're still not putting that much money into hockey. We're just now starting to get to that point where hockey is really starting to amp everything up for their league. You know what I mean? So when I look at soccer and I'm sitting here looking at it, and everybody's like, well, yeah, we should contend with Uruguay or Spain or France or Argentina. And I'm sitting here going, we're not that good. We're not. And then on top of that, this is another reason why they compare soccer to basketball. Have you seen how they flop? Fine, it's like and I'm like, dude, get up and play soccer.
And look, hey, and the magic spray. You can't forget about the magic spray.
and we need to tell everybody to go watch Key and Peele, their soccer bit, because that is what everybody sees. But we're never going to contend to them. And if we got the World Cup coming, and we got the World Cup coming up in 2 years, we're not even going to be ready for that. I mean, we can't even beat. Who did we lose to?
What? Oh, in this
Uruguay. We lost to Uruguay, right? Okay.
Yep.
If we can't even beat them, and they're a good team, don't get me wrong, but they who do they play next? Colombia?
Yeah, they play Colombia. I think they're in the semifinals of the
Copa America. If you got here, let me look. Okay, so you got Argentina and Canada. They're actually playing right now. Tomorrow you got Uruguay and Colombia, and then you got the third place and the final coming from that.
Yep.
And we're expected to compete with Uruguay, Argentina, Spain, France, Canada, Colombia. We're not good enough to compete with them and win consistently, because we just do not put no money into it. Put some money into it, we may get closer. But you also, like you were saying, do the guys really have the motivation to win? There's no motivation.
Yeah, and that's the thing, Patrick, because I think money is being put into it, but that's where the mentality comes in. Look, soccer is by far the world's most popular sport. It's not even close. And for these other countries, it is a religion for them.
Yeah.
Like how we look at football here, American football here, that's how they look at soccer in these other countries.
Yep.
These people, I've been there, and you can speak to this too. We have been to England, all right, in the streets of London, and we know how the streets of London are. They are always packed. They are always full of people. When soccer comes on and their national team is playing, it is quiet. Everyone's in a bar or a pub or at home watching that game. It is a ghost town on the streets of London. That's how they treat soccer in these other countries. And the mentality is, we need this team to be a beast, or at least get to the point where we can compete. Like, that is the mentality. And there's no taking no for an answer there. Like, you're not taking no for an answer. We will compete. We will find a way to compete, or we will go down trying. And that's the mentality the U.S. has to develop if they ever want to sniff, let alone get to that level. If they even want to sniff that level,
they got to win the game in front of them first.
Yeah.
It's just like and we've been comparing basketball. Look, basketball was horrible in the Olympics before the Dream Team.
Mm-hmm.
They had to go in and say, we are going to allow the NBA to play in this. And then that's when it got started. Now, I agree with it. I mean, they had to do something, because, I mean, USA wasn't even close to winning games that they should win, because they just didn't know how to play. And all the other countries were putting their stars in. We were the only ones that didn't. So when we did, that was the mentality that USA had, was like, we got to win. This is what we're going to do to win. Well, you're putting your pro athletes in a soccer game, and yet you still can't even come close to these guys. And these guys religiously live soccer at home. If you're going to beat those type of teams, you have got to religiously live soccer before the World Cup, because if you don't, we're going to go home early.
In front of our home country.
In front of our home country. Which is going to be embarrassing.
Yes, man. So, I mean, I just think when you look at the business, because people will say, oh, well, the resources, we don't have the resources. we're the United States of America. Who has more resources than us? So that's one thing.
Well, we are becoming a third world country.
And so,
I'm saying jokingly and serious. I'm just
and so, who has more resources than us? And then number two, like I said, the money is being invested because there's been a push on it to give to have more developmental leagues. So you have these developmental leagues that come in, and then of course you have Major League Soccer where some of the players can go into after potentially playing in college. The resources are being put into it, but the mentality of, do we want to put in that work? When you look at these other countries, when you look at Spain and France and some of the other countries, Argentina, the defending World Cup champs, when you look at their structure, I mean, there are concrete plays, there's a connection, there's a connectiveness with those teams. That's not there with the US. And until they get that connectiveness, it's going to be the same story over and over and over again. You may have one season or one World Cup, like I think it was 2002, and these things happen every 4 years. But you may have a World Cup like in 2002 where they might get to the quarterfinals. They're not going to get any further than that, though, because they just don't have the structure. They don't have the mentality. You have to win tough games. And look, because some of those games could be very physical, Patrick, and I know the guys flop, but some of those games can be very physical. You could have some tough tackles, and then the magic spray is getting used a whole bunch to get them back out there. But but there's actually hard tackles, and you have to be able to win those gritty, gutty games if you're going to make any type of headway to get to those levels. The United States,
that magic spray could like heal a broken bone.
Apparently, it can, because some of those players were screaming like, "Oh my God, my ankle is broke. It is done." That magic spray came on through. Yeah, I'm good. I'm
good.
I'm like, wait a minute. You got carried off.
Rub in cocaine or something.
You got carried off on a stretcher, and now all of a sudden you're good. That magic spray. There was no wrap, no nothing. They just
magic spray will heal anything.
Yeah. I was like, what is in that spray? You notice nobody knows what's in that spray.
There's only two people that know what's in that, and it's behind a lock and key, and he knows half of that, and the other one knows the other half.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, they are not releasing it to the public. I can tell you that.
Oh boy. Well, Patrick, it's about that time to wrap it up, and that will do it for this edition of the Breath of Fresh Air webcast. That is what we are breathing on for tonight. Y'all make sure y'all visit the Breath of Fresh Air YouTube channel, smash that subscribe button, and follow the Breath of Fresh Air Facebook page. Patrick, Bro Epic's shirt on. What's coming up for Bro Epic?
So I am doing the finishing touches on the latest episode of us playing Blitzball. I have a couple of shows that I'm going to put in play, but one of them is going to be a little late because we moved another show up to do a Bro Epic hide and seek challenge. So that one's going to be pretty fun. We're excited about putting that one in, but we are going to try to get a soccer one in here in the next couple of weeks as well. So we got a lot of things coming up, a lot of shows coming up, and it's going to be fun, super fun. Especially this Blitzball one was really cool to do. It was fun.
Yeah, it's good, man. And on that note, man, for Bro Epic, Patrick and I are planning something coming up, and we'll give it about the next few months. We're planning something, so I think y'all will like that, and y'all will be seeing
Avengers.
Yeah, and so y'all will be seeing us a lot of these next couple of months because we are gearing up for the fall. And the grind it's real. Like we were just talking about it last week. We said, all right, let's enjoy the 4th of July because, man, we about to hit it. Yeah, we're about to hit it. So get ready because, hey, Bro Epic, Breath of Fresh Air, it is coming. It is on the way, and there's going to be a lot. You're going to be seeing a lot of us. So whether you're ready for it or not, whether you like us or you hate us, don't worry about it because you're going to see us. And then we will have y'all make that decision on how much I want to see of us. But
believers. Just watch. It's fun.
Yeah. So with that, everybody, take care. Have a great rest of the week, and we will talk to y'all at this same time. Take care.